Epstein, by now, most of us know who's behind that. Clearly Israel, clearly Mossad, clearly Zionists. We can all see that. So let's get past that point. Those are the same people who are pushing war with Iran. Those are the same people who push the Ukraine war. Those are the same people who push the death jab very hard. That's the same people every time. Not a big coincidence. October 7th. The Iran war is not over. It's far from over. In fact, it looks like they're about to have another kinetic kickoff. Everything's lining up for an actual war with Iran beyond what we've seen so far. We'll see as time unfolds, maybe in the next month or so, or possibly less when you look at how things are being arrayed right now. Now, let's look at Spain. Spain has opened the doors to another 500,000 invaders. Keep in mind, that means the doors are completely open. They're not going to limit that to 500,000. This is Camp of the Saints. This is deadly serious. There's not going to be anywhere to go or to avoid this in Europe or in the Americas. And I mean the Americas, not just North America either. South America also is facing similar circumstances from Argentina all the way to Colombia. Panama, you can see there's been some big changes in Panama. By the way, today is the 5th of February, 2026. There have been some big changes in Panama in the last week, just as not only that we predicted, but let's say very openly helped along. I'm talking about our Burning Edge team. There was a court decision in Panama that China cannot maintain those two ports on each side of the Panama Canal that we've talked about so many times. The C.K. Hutchison ports on either side, one on the Pacific, one on the Atlantic. Court decision last week, no go. China's got to vacate those. Maersk is taking those over right now. As you might recall, less than a month ago, I talked about how Maersk appears to have offered numerous billions of dollars, maybe $4 billion, to take over those ports. And I don't think that was public at all. And now you see Maersk has actually taken the ports. I don't know what may have happened behind the scenes, but that's a big deal because that means Maersk, which is a huge company, which basically owns and operates Denmark, the country, that puts Maersk right in the middle. That puts Denmark, let's say Denmark, right in the middle of the Panama fray, which is significant, to put it mildly. Now, China has said, they've just announced that they're going to cut off all investments into Panama. So some people would look at this as a very positive thing. Now, one thing that needs to be done is that bridge number 4. You know how much Chinese love the number 4. They don't. It means it reminds them of death, actually, 4. That's why you don't see the 4th floor when you go to China, and they don't have any airline flights like 444 or that sort of stuff. But in any case, the 4th bridge over Panama, that needs to be stopped until American and Japanese engineers are looking at every tiny bolt that goes into it, every gram of concrete, everything that goes into it. Why Japanese? Because Japanese are helping to finance that bridge. So Japan is big money's behind it. That's clearly a Chinese project, however. So at the end of the day, that bridge construction needs to stop until United States has engineers on that 24/7 who can inspect every little spot, every square cubic centimeter of that bridge. Every tiny thing needs to be checked because China makes stuff that falls. We've seen, just web search for Chinese bridge collapses or Chinese building collapses or Chinese high-speed train crash, that sort of thing. This is significant. The Panama Canal is very important to the United States. It's actually very important to China. Not that that matters. China makes things that are important to China all the time that then collapse. So that it's important to China as well doesn't mean they won't build something that collapses. And the number 3 customer through the Panama Canal is Japan. So Japan and the United States have extreme interest in that canal. And according to our treaty with Panama, anything that jeopardizes the safe function of the canal can cause Panama to be in default of the treaty. Panama is a great partner of the United States, so no need to throw elbows on Panama at all. We need to work with our Panamanian partners. At the same time, for the sake of Panama and the United States and Japan and all the other customers of the Panama Canal and the people who will drive over that bridge, which is basically everybody who lives in Panama City, and at some point everybody who lives in Panama drives over that bridge, that needs to be inspected for the safety of everybody and that Panama Canal. We don't want to see it collapse. So that needs to the construction on the bridge needs to stop right now. I've said this many times over the last couple of years or so, and now I'm reiterating it very hard. That needs to stop. Construction on the bridge. Enough said. I'm watching silver and gold and other precious metals very closely. I'm no expert in those. I'm just watching the waves crash on the beach, trying to figure out what's causing all these waves hitting the beach. Luckily, I know and a lot of smart people and get to watch what a lot of smart people say, but I still don't know what causes all the waves. At the end of the day, there is extreme energy within the gold and silver and platinum and palladium, especially silver, is going completely wild. It's amazing to watch. Now let's talk about gold for a minute. Has the United States stolen Germany's gold? If I were a betting man, I would bet, I would put down heavy odds that the United States has stolen Germany's gold. And then there's other countries who store gold in the United States, such as India and Netherlands, Italy, right? It's a pretty big deal when you think about it. The United States has stolen the gold from American citizens before, and our predatory government steals from American citizens every single day. Our government has stolen, it's not our government, it's that government has stolen trillions of dollars from Americans. If you look how much money Americans were making while they built the Panama Canal, I guarantee it's more money than most of the people you see on a daily basis at normal jobs. They were making a lot of money, and they were paid in silver and gold. Our government is predatory towards us. There is no chance that they would not be predatory towards Germany, especially, let's look at the facts. Zionists are the major influence in our government. That's very clear. Look at Epstein Island and the fact that it's taken so long to squeeze any information out about that. We're seeing information come out of the Epstein Island case, which, if true, should lead to a lot of death penalties. And I mean, no kidding, Texas electric chair stuff. This is very deadly serious stuff. These animals, if these things are true, should be immediately put in prison. And that's a lot of people. But obviously, who ran Epstein Island? Zionist, Mossad, Israel. That's who runs it. The same people that are pushing to get us into World War III right now, and so on so many fronts. So there you go. Would the United States steal Germany's gold? People are asking me. Is that a joke? Obviously, they would steal Germany's gold. Our gold has been stolen in the past. Our lives have been stolen. We're talking about the same people who pushed the death jab, right? Millions of Americans, Europeans, Japanese, Australians, Thai people all over the world are dead. They're dead from those intentional, that's a weapon of mass destruction. Anybody who would do what has been done on Epstein Island, they have zero limits, absolutely zero limits. People have watched me talk about the Agoris I've tracked down in India before. Some people have actually gone to the trouble of seeing if the story is true, and they've all found that it's true. It is true. The Agoris, right? What are the Agoris? They have zero limits. They're cannibals. They do anything, and I mean anything, right? Including baby sacrifice, eating babies, that sort of stuff, right? That's what these people, the Epstein Island crew, that is those people wearing ties. That's the difference. They wear ties, they got billions of dollars, they got jets, And they've got Christian Zionists throughout the United States, many of whom are my friends and family, who still support those animals. And if you're supporting those animals after seeing what has been happening on Epstein Island, you are one of those animals. If you're still supporting that, or if you're turning a blind eye, you are that, right? Now, I know people that watch my work are not that. So share this with the people who are, because there's no place for them on the ark. Don't want them around. You know, as Catherine Austin Fitts has said over time, she doesn't want to go underground because she'll be with those sorts of people, right? And she's dead on right. And by the way, if you're not following Solari Report, I highly recommend that you do. Just pay attention to what Catherine says. Masako and I learned a lot spending a month with Catherine Austin Fitts, and I think you will too. In fact, I wish she were here right now. Now, at the end of the day, thank you for everything. And many people are wondering why I haven't published so much. You know how this goes. Occasionally I go for long periods of time without publishing anything at all because we're doing mostly homework, which is the way this goes, right? Even if you looked at the amount of work that I put out in the wars compared to how much time I spent in the wars, I actually was publishing with a tiny spigot, and meanwhile fire hoses of information were coming at me. But that's how those predictions that I've made over the years, or the reports that I've made, have come out to be accurate. Is because this is 95% research to make those few 24-karat gold statements. Epstein Island, the animals that are doing this are the same ones that have made our borders open. It's the same ones, right? We've got the same people working on Somaliland now. They're working on destroying all of Europe, Russia, United States, Canada, Mexico. Now, I know my Mexican friends, you think it can't happen to you, but some of my other Mexican friends realize that it can. Anything that can happen to us can happen to our Mexican friends. And it is unfolding on Mexico. Clearly, we need to stick together and fight the same enemies. Likewise with Costa Rica, Panama, and Guatemala. Guatemala, I know you're all lovey-dovey with Israel, but guess what? Israel's got plans for Guatemala and Belize, not to mention Costa Rica and Panama and Colombia and Venezuela and Ecuador. China, as you know, is going for Ecuador as well, and they're fighting down there in Argentina as well. The Argentinians finally have noticed that it's the truth. You know, Masako and I went down there in late 2024 and immediately started talking about what we see unfolding. And now you see the arson and these sorts of things. And our incredible friends over in Thailand are seeing the same thing. It's not a coincidence that they're setting up shop on Koh Tao. Look at Koh Tao and look at the Funan Techo Canal that's being built through Cambodia, right? Look at the Kra Isthmus, the corridor there. Where's Koh Tao? Look at where that energy is in the Gulf of Thailand. Look at where those island disputes are over by Cambodia. The dispute that's going on between Thailand and Cambodia has nothing to do with that temple. That 1907 map is not relevant. It's made to seem relevant, but it's not. This is about routes, resources. This is about China versus Zionists. That's what's going on. Look who's taken over that island, Koh Tao. I've been to Koh Tao. You know, it's at the middle of nowhere, or is it? It's the middle of somewhere. It's the middle of the Gulf of Siam. All right. Thank you, everybody. And Masako and I greatly appreciate your support. We greatly need it. It's expensive to do these things. It is not cheap, and we've got the same problems that you do. However, let me say one thing. All of our families have been through wars and pandemics and famines, and we're all here, and we're still happy. We're going to make it. Remember, it's important to be extremely alert, but not nervous. Don't be nervous. Be alert, right? That's what matters, is preparation and action and accurate action. Don't do things just to do things, obviously. We have to think things through, think three times and do it once, you know, as the carpenters say, measure thrice, cut once. And so we're going to make it. We're going to do fine. However, do study your particular area and what's going on and prepare for it, because there will be at some point, I think, food shortages. I've been warning about this for about 6 years now, and it's clearly building. The conditions are clearly building for very serious food problems, meaning famine. And in some places, food problems such as very high price and you won't get the selections that you wanted. In other places, starving to death, cannibalism. That's what always happens in a famine, by the way, is it gets pretty hardcore. Famines can be worse than war, actually. They're pretty severe. And this is being caused by the same people. Keep that in mind. All right. Y'all have a good night. Mike out.